Amazing. Just looking at the Canon EOS R. I've wanted one for a long time. It's so good. And then the new RF lens system looks incredible as well. Oh, I just wish I could reach out into the screen. Whoa! Oh. 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 No. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, that's weird. Going back in. I shouldn't be doing that. Oh. Oh. Right, I'm switching it off. So if you follow me already on Instagram or Facebook, you're probably already aware that I've got the Canon EOS R. It's my new favourite thing. And you'll also know that I've been out with it a couple of times to test it. But what I want to share with you today is how to set the camera up and dive a bit deeper into the menu system to get the most out of this camera. And also customize it to suit your shooting style best. Because the first thing I noticed when I turned this on is how different it was to what I'm used to. So whether you're coming from a completely different line of cameras like a Sony or Panasonic or anything else, or you're coming from a different Canon system, this video will be useful for you. So stick around. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more gear reviews and tutorials. Without further ado, let's look at this beast that is the Canon EOS R. Just love it. One of the features with this camera is that you can set up your own custom profiles. So you could have a profile set up for normal shooting mode, then a slow-mo shooting mode, and then a time-lapse shooting mode, or anything that suits you best. With just a tap of a button, you can scroll through all your shooting modes, so you don't have to go through all the menu system to switch to slow-mo or time-lapse or anything like that. You can have it saved as a custom preset, and you can have 3 of those. You've got custom 1, custom 2, and custom 3. But before I show you how to do that, there's a couple of things that I want you to do first, so that will be later on in the video. And there's a reason why I'm going to show you that last as well. All what I'm going to discuss in this video are geared towards videographers. I'm going to show you the main things that I like to customize with this camera, but obviously you can do things your own way. Feel free to follow on and then have a mess around and see what suits you best when you start using the camera. But these are the sort of main things that you'd be looking at using. Right, so let's go ahead and turn on the camera. I'm going to go in and take care of all the annoying things first, like the beep and the viewfinder as well. We'll turn that off. So nice and easy to do. You've probably noticed that when you put your hand near the screen, the display automatically turns off and it goes onto the viewfinder mode. Really annoying, so let's switch that off next. Nice and easy to do. Press menu and then you go onto the spanner tab, and then from there it's the 4th tab, display settings, display control. You'll see it on here, look. If I put my hand near the viewfinder, the display goes off. It's so annoying because it thinks you're looking through the viewfinder. Display control, switch from auto to manual, and also go into manual display and click screen, not viewfinder, otherwise you'll have to change it. If you're in viewfinder mode and you can't get it off by accident because you can't see what's on the screen, you've got to hold your eye up to this and then change it back to screen. So there we go. The first thing I like to change is the beeping noise when you're scrolling through the menus. Otherwise you just get this beep, 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 beep going off, and there's nothing worse than being on a shoot trying to look professional and you've got that beep going on and it sounds and looks like you don't know what you're doing. Or if you're trying to be discreet at a wedding, the last thing you want to hear is all the beeping noises coming from the camera. So I'll show you how to turn those off. So you just press menu and then you go to the spanner icon, go across to the 3rd tab, and then you'll see straight away there it says beep. So I click touch and then you'll see a little speaker with a line through it. Hit that and then that turns it off. Touch, off. So that's good. That's the first thing sorted. For regular shooting, we're going to choose full HD 25 frames or 24 frames if you're in America, and then all eye. So click on that one and that's it. You'll know that it's got this little thumb scroll touchpad on the back of the camera here. That's where I tend to grip the camera like this, and I don't want to be knocking that by accident, so I've just switched that off. You can assign a control to this little pad here, but I'm just going to switch it off, so I'll show you how to do that now. So you go menu, the 5th tab along, it's the little orange, almost like an exposure type icon, and then we're going to go to the 4th tab, and then we've got customize M function bar. You'll see the 2 options at the top. I've got those both set to not assigned, and that's for shooting mode and playback mode. You might like to use them for scrolling through images, but I'm just going to switch them both off. Just go on to disable, and then at the bottom where it says info full cover setting, click that, and then just switch that over to off. So now when you're filming and you accidentally hit that wheel, nothing will happen, so you use fine, or you set it up to whatever you like. The next thing I'm going to do is customize the buttons of the camera. There's a few different buttons on the camera. You've got the M function button on the top, you've got light bulb button there, the mode button, the AF on, and you've got a couple on the back here, AF on, info button, Q set. All of these buttons you can customize. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You go to menu, and then you go onto the orange tab once again, and then customize buttons. I'm obviously talking about video functions on this, so the video functions are on the right hand side of this screen here, so you can scroll through the different buttons, and it shows you in this little image here which button you're assigning. So we're going to go ahead and click the M function button. So I've set that to custom shooting mode, so when I press that button it scrolls between my custom presets. So you just press that and you can quickly switch from custom 1 to custom 2, custom 3, and then it just rotates around those. So that's just an easy way of changing your shooting mode. If I want to go to slow-mo, I just press that and I'm straight in slow-mo mode. If I want to go to 4K, I'll go to 4K mode, and then back to normal. And again, you can set these buttons to anything that you like, anything that suits your style best. Right, so then we've got the light bulb. The light bulb button I've got as a multifunctional button, so it's got 2 uses here. We've got a short press and a long press, and the short press displays information on the top panel here. It's showing me my aperture, my shutter speed, and my ISO, and also battery. And then if I switch over, it's showing me my autofocus, my white balance, and a couple of other features as well. But with a long press of this button, it switches on and off the light to illuminate that screen. I don't know if you can see it there or not, but anyway, it does that. The mode button on top I've just left as mode, and then AF on. I've switched off the AF on button. I don't want a function for that because I found that my thumb was leaning on it and pressing it sometimes, so I've switched that off so it doesn't do anything, that button. I did think about putting the menu there, but what was happening was I was clicking into the menu with that button, which was useful, so I didn't have to either do it with my left hand or swap hands to click menu over there. But then it didn't let you press it again to exit the menu, so I thought it was pretty pointless having that as a menu button, so I just left it off. So the only other thing I changed was the up key on the scroll wheel. What I'm using it for is autofocus return to center. So if you've changed where your autofocus is in the frame and you want to get it back to the center of the frame without dragging it in and trying to fine tune it, just press the up key and it automatically goes straight to the center of the frame. So I find that's quite handy. So there is one more button that I have customized, but it's on a different menu. So you go over to the spanner this time and it's on the 4th tab, and it's the button function, the 4th row down, button function. So click that, and I've put half press as meter plus movie servo AF, and fully press I've assigned to start and stop movie recording, so I can just start and stop movie recording. If you're facing the other way, for example, and you want to start recording, you got to navigate where that little tiny red button is, whereas you can see straight away where that button is, so just a full press of that and it starts recording. So that's really handy for me. Right, so we're moving on to customizing the wheels now, and it's the same procedure on the orange tab again and the 4th tab. It's customize dials, obviously, and again we're scrolling through and it shows you which ones we can change. Now there's 3 options here. You've got the scroll wheel on the top, and then also the one where the mode button is here, where your thumb is. But there's the extra bonus one you've got is when you've got either an RF lens attached or an RF mount with the wheel on there. I haven't got the RF lens on at the moment because it's coming in the post tomorrow and I can't wait for that. It's going to be great. But I've set that RF control ring to control my ISO. And with the other two, I've swapped them around. So I've got aperture setting on the finger wheel there, and with the thumb wheel, I've got my shutter speed. It's just how I like it, really. I've swapped those two around. It comes the other way around when you get it out of the box, but I just prefer it that way for some reason. So with all these customizations, just choose what suits you best, and the things that you use the most need to be more accessible and you need to be able to navigate to them quickly. So that's what I've done. Obviously, customize your camera to what suits you best. Another feature that I find really interesting is that you can customize the info display. So what's shown on your camera display at the back. This is for the info button on the back. When you press info, it scrolls between what information you have displayed on the screen, because sometimes it can get a little bit messy on the screen, especially on these tiny little screens. If you've got a load of information in there, it's difficult to see what you're shooting if you're not using a monitor. So you can customize those. So it's nice and easy. You just go into menu again, and it's the spanner, and then we go into the fourth tab along, shooting info display, and then we go into screen info settings, and then you've got here a list of 5 different screen types, and you can go in and edit each one individually as well. So I've got these 4 switched on. I'm using them as 4 different stages of menu. I've got the display set up so that you've got a frame with just what you're capturing, no information around the edges at all, so it's just clear. And then I've added the key bits of info on the screen around the edges, and then the exposure histogram, and then the leveler. So you go in and you can select which parts you want to display. So you got basic shooting info, I want that on. I've also got the detailed shooting info, and then I've got on-screen buttons. So I want those to work because I like to sometimes press and navigate menus through on the touch screen as well. So I've left those on in every mode. So that's okay. I've got those 3 on, and then we've got the option there of having the histogram displayed and the level on as well, but I've left them off for this first level, so I'll just go out of there. Number 2, I'm going to edit that screen. I've got the same options but with the histogram on, and then in level 3 I've added the electronic leveler as well. On number 4, I've got a clear display, no info whatsoever, so I can just see what I'm filming. Right, and then we've got the audio next. Now to change the audio, you can either do it from the main shooting screen or through the menu. But to set it up for manual audio recording level first, we've got to go into the menu setting. So we're going menu, it's the first tab, and then the first tab again, and then sound recording manual. Click it to manual instead of auto. And then you can change your recording level from there, going into there, and then moving across. Once you've done that, you can then change the audio recording level from the main shooting screen. As I said earlier, press the Q set button, then that brings up our options here. You can either click with your finger and then go in and change the level there, or you can do it with the controls on the back of the camera. So that's simple as that. That's the audio taken care of. Right. Another thing that I like to change is the auto on and off, or power saver. I like to just extend the time on that and give me a little bit more time. If I'm filming myself for a video like this, I need to move things around and set things up, and I like to have the screen flipped around like that so I can see what I'm doing. And it takes me a while sometimes, and then it's really annoying when the camera just switches off and I need to go over to the camera again and switch it back on. And so I like to turn this off, or at least give myself a little bit of extra time with the display on. So to do this, we go into our menu again, go over to the spanner, second tab this time, power saving. It gives you the options here, display off, and I think it's normally set to 30 seconds or a minute. I've gone to 5 minutes there. Auto power off, 5 minutes. Viewfinder off, I don't use that, so I've just set that to 3 minutes. Doesn't really make a difference for me, so that's what I've done. Obviously you set that to however you like. If you want to save your battery, shorten those times and it will save you battery. One more thing before I show you how to set up your custom profiles. This is the cool one. So C-log, your Canon log picture profile. So menu, it's the first tab, the red one. and then we're going over to the 4th tab. When you first get the camera, you'll have these options displayed, picture style, and you'd probably be in standard or something like that. I would go for neutral profile, but if you want to shoot in Canon log, click on Canon log settings there, and then switch it on to 8-bit. Now you can use 10-bit if you've got an external recorder like the Ninja 5. In fact, I've just got my hands on one. It arrived today. But I haven't used it yet. Stay tuned for the review on this bad boy. Cannot wait. Anyway, back to the C-Log settings. 8-bit on. View Assist is where you can have, obviously log profiles are very flat looking. There's very little saturation and not much contrast either. View Assist just makes it look a bit better for you while you're filming. But I have that off because I like to, for some reason, I like to see the log profile. I don't know, maybe I'll switch that on at some point. Color matrix. Neutral. Did a little bit of testing and you can see the difference between these two. Cinema, they're not very true to life colours, I've found. So neutral was just a very, very true to life colours. So I've gone for neutral. If you haven't set up a button to scroll through your profiles, then you'll have to click the mode button and then select which profile you want to use from there. But obviously I've got that set up on this button here, so it's nice and quick to scroll through my custom profiles using that. I'm going to show you now how to set up your custom profiles, and obviously this will save you loads of time when you want to switch between normal shooting mode, slow-mo, time-lapse, 4K, anything like that. So we're going to save our custom settings, everything that we've done so far, onto our profiles. And the reason why I've made you wait to the end before showing you this is because we want to make sure we've got all our settings dialed in first, so we can just duplicate them and change one thing at a time rather than changing everything in one go. So that's why, another time saver for you. What we want to do is, once you've finished setting up your profile, so you've chosen your frame rate, your shutter speed, your aperture, your ISO, everything that you want to keep consistent, you're then going to save that to one of the profiles. So we'll go to menu, click the spanner. It's our favorite icon, the spanner. It's the 6th tab, and it's the 2nd row down, custom shooting mode, C1 to C3. And then you select the custom shooting mode to register those settings to. So I've set up 25 frames for custom 1, I've set up a slow-mo version for custom 2, and I've set up a 4K shooting mode for custom 3. Some people do time-lapse, whatever you want to do here. You don't have to do it the same as me. You can leave them blank if you want. If you just use one most of the time, that's fine. Click OK, and that would save the settings. What you do next, if you want to set up a slow-mo shooting profile, for example, is just go in and change your frame rate. So we go on movie recording quality, and then we're changing it to full HD, 50 frames for example, all I. Click OK. I'm going to go ahead and change my shutter speed then to follow the 180 rule. If you don't know about that, obviously there's loads of videos on the topic, but basically it's a way of making your videos look more natural. If I'm shooting at 25 frames per second, I want my shutter speed to be double that, which is 50. If I'm shooting in slow-mo, 50 frames per second for example, I want my shutter speed to be double that, 100, you guessed it. That's the only change I'm going to make. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on the spanner again, 6th tab across, custom shooting mode, register settings to custom shooting mode 2. Done. Simple as that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you some tips and some advice. I hope you're enjoying the camera. I do. I absolutely love it. The image quality, the colors are fantastic. I absolutely love this. I don't know why I didn't get this a long time ago. But anyway, please subscribe to the channel to get more gear reviews and tutorials. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week.